What the cameras caught of Song Hye-kyo in the audience when Lee Min-ho's name was called at the award ceremony is not something that any acting training in the world could manufacture, and not something that any celebrity image management strategy would have been bold enough to plan. She stood up before anyone around her did. Her hands came together with the specific and total force of someone whose entire body has been waiting for this moment. And her eyes, the specific and completely unguarded eyes of a wife watching the man she loves be recognized for the work she has watched him pour himself into completely, did something that the cameras were not necessarily positioned to catch but caught anyway. Hye-kyo fans who were watching live described the moment as the most emotionally complete thing they had ever seen at an industry award ceremony. Not the award itself. Her face when he received it. Stay until the very end because every detail of what she did and what it means builds on the last. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications because Hye-kyo just gave the award season a moment it will never recover from. Now let us talk about those proud eyes. Hye-kyo fans, hold on to everything you have. Because what we are about to walk through together is not the usual category of Hye-kyo content. It is not a sighting or a body language breakdown or a confirmed piece of documentation added carefully to the archive of everything this community has assembled across the years of watching and believing. It is something that operates in a different register entirely. Something that is less about evidence and more about witness. We witnessed something at that award ceremony that the Hye-kyo community has been building toward understanding completely since the earliest days of following this pairing. We witnessed Song Hye-kyo being proud of Lee Min-ho, not performing pride for an industry audience, not producing the composed and appropriate spousal expression that awards ceremony attendance requires of celebrity partners in high-visibility settings. Actually, completely, from the inside, 4 layers deep proud of the specific man she knows most completely in the world being recognized by the industry for the specific and total dedication to his craft that she has watched from the closest possible vantage point. She knows what that award cost him. She was in the kitchen at 6 in the morning when he was preparing. She was in the house during the months of complete commitment that the role demanded. She was there for all of it. And when his name was called, she stood up before anyone around her, and her hands came together, and her eyes did what eyes do when a person is too full of genuine feeling to contain it in any more managed form. This community witnessed that. Let us feel every single dimension of what it contained. Let us start where the story starts, which is not at the award ceremony but in the months that preceded it, and that gave Song Hye-kyo's response its specific and earned weight. Lee Min-ho's preparation for the role that won the award was by every account from people close to the production one of the most complete and most demanding processes of his career. This is not a casual observation. Lee Min-ho is not someone whose professional commitment has ever been questioned by anyone who has worked with him closely. His preparation across his career has always been total in the way that distinguishes genuinely committed performers from technically proficient ones. But this role was different in the specific demands it made and the specific investment it required and the specific toll it took across the extended period of its preparation. He was not simply learning a character. He was becoming one. In the complete and consuming way that the most demanding dramatic work requires, the way that takes over the daily life and the sleep and the emotional landscape and leaves very little of the ordinary person available to the ordinary life during the period of the work's most intense demands. Song Hye-kyo watched this process from the inside. She was present for the early mornings and the late nights and the weeks when the role was more present in the house than the man. She saw what it cost. She also saw what it produced. She saw the work itself, the actual performance that eventually reached the screen, with a specific knowledge of what went into every moment of it. When the industry recognized it, she was not applauding a performance. She was applauding the complete and total and personally observed dedication of a man she loves who gave everything this work required and produced something worthy of what he gave. Now let us talk about what was visible in the moments immediately before his name was called, because the before tells the story of what the after reveals. Song Hye-kyo had been seated in the audience for the duration of the ceremony with the characteristic and composed quality of presence that her decades of awards season attendance have developed in her. She knows how to be at these events. She knows the specific calibration of attention and expression that industry occasions of this magnitude require from their attendees. She is one of the most experienced and most professionally assured presences in any industry room she occupies. Her composure is not cold. It is simply the entirely earned and entirely natural composure of someone for whom this environment holds no surprises and requires no adjustment. She was composed. She was appropriate. She was exactly the version of Song Hye-kyo that awards ceremonies expect. And then the presenter began reading the nominees for Lee Min-ho's category, and something shifted in the specific and barely perceptible way that the most attentive cameras and the most attentive Min-kyo observers simultaneously registered. Her hands, which had been resting in her lap with the relaxed quality of someone at ease in a familiar environment, moved. Not dramatically. Not in the anticipatory way of someone expecting a specific outcome and preparing to celebrate it. In the involuntary way of someone whose body is responding to a surge of feeling that the rest of them has not yet caught up with. The hands moved toward each other before the name was called. The Min-kyo community watching in real time saw the hands and understood that whatever happened next on stage, what was already happening in the audience was the real story of this award ceremony. His name was called. And she was up before the applause had fully formed around her. This detail, the timing of her standing in relation to the room standing, is the one the Min-kyo community has returned to most consistently in its analysis of the moment, and it rewards the attention it has received. The timing matters because it tells you something specific about the interior state that produced the movement. When a person stands to applaud at an award ceremony in synchrony with the room around them, the standing is a social act. An appropriate and genuine participation in a collective response. When a person stands before the room has formed its collective response, the standing is something else. It is a body acting from feeling before it has registered the social context of the feeling. It is the interior arriving at the exterior faster than the social calibration function can moderate it. Song Hye-kyo was on her feet because she was full. Too full of what she felt to wait for the room to tell her when the appropriate moment to express it had arrived. Her pride was faster than her composure. And for a woman whose composure is one of the most reliably present qualities in her entire documented public history, that speed is the most revealing thing in the entire moment. What overrode her composure is the same thing that produces the four-layered smile at the fan event, and the look she gives him when he does not know he is being watched. It is the real and total and completely unmanageable feeling of a woman who loves a man with her whole actual self, and who cannot always keep that whole actual self inside the boundaries that professional composure provides. The applause itself has generated its own layer of analysis in the community, and this layer deserves careful treatment because the how of applause is as revealing as the fact of it. Song Hye-kyo's hands came together with a force and a frequency that is not the polite and socially calibrated applause of an industry professional acknowledging a peer's achievement. It is not even the warm and genuine applause of someone who is pleased by an outcome they hoped for. It is the specific and total and completely uninhibited applause of someone for whom this achievement is personally significant in a way that no industry relationship can account for. Her hands were saying what her composed professional face would normally be managing, which is that this win belongs to her too in the specific sense that every achievement of someone you have supported and loved and witnessed completely belongs in some small and entirely legitimate way to the people who were there for the work behind it. She was in the kitchen during the preparation. She was in the house during the months of demanding commitment. She was the steady presence alongside the consuming dedication. The applause that her hands produced was the applause of someone who was there, who knows what this represents, who has standing to celebrate it in a way that goes beyond industry approval into something more personal and more earned and more complete. The Min-kyo community watching those hands come together felt the standing, the earned quality of her celebration, immediately, and it moved them. Let us talk about the eyes. The proud eyes that the title of this video names, and that every fan who witnessed the moment has identified as its most significant and most devastating element. The eyes are where the full story lives. Song Hye-kyo's professional photographic archive, which spans decades and covers every conceivable industry context, contains a well-documented range of her eye expressions across the full spectrum of the managed emotions that public life requires. The industry eye, the red carpet eye, the press conference eye, the acceptance speech reaction eye. These are all known quantities to the Min-kyo community, which has spent years studying her face in sufficient detail to recognize immediately when an expression departs from the managed register into the unguarded one. The proud eyes that the cameras caught when Lee Min-ho's name was called are not in the managed register. They are not even in the warmly genuine but still somewhat composed register that her most open and most apparently candid public expressions typically inhabit. They are somewhere more interior and more private than any of those registers, and the cameras found them there and recorded them before the professional awareness could redirect them toward a more composed version of themselves. What the eyes contained is something the Hye-kyo community has been working to describe accurately since the moment the footage surfaced, and that resists clean description in the way that the most genuine human expressions always resist clean description, because they are produced by interior states that are more complex than any single word can contain. The closest the community has come, in the sustained and careful discussion of the footage, is this combination: wonder and recognition and gratitude and relief, and the specific and private joy of watching something you always believed and be confirmed publicly by the industry that both of them have spent their careers inside. She always knew he was capable of this. She has seen the complete version of his dedication from the most intimate available position. She knew before the nomination and before the win and before any awards body confirmed it that what he had done with this role was exceptional. The awards ceremony did not tell her anything she did not already know. What it did was say it publicly, in the specific and formal and industry-validated language of a major award. And her eyes responded to the public saying of something she has privately known with a specific quality of feeling that arrives when a private truth becomes a public one. Relief is part of it. Not because she doubted it, but because the private carrying of certainty that the world has not yet confirmed is its own quiet form of tension, and the tension releases when the confirmation arrives. Wonder is part of it too. Not surprise, but the specific form of wonder that is the ongoing and never quite exhaustible amazement of a person who loves someone talented and who finds, across every new confirmation of that talent, that the amazement does not diminish with familiarity. She is still amazed by him. After all the mornings and the kitchens and the ordinary Tuesdays. Still amazed. The proud eyes said that clearly. And the Hye-kyo community received it completely. Song Hye-kyo's behavior in the moments after Lee Min-ho received the award and made his way to the stage adds additional layers to the story that the community has been analyzing with equal care. She watched his acceptance speech from the audience with a specific quality of attention that the Hye-kyo community has catalogued across the entire documented visual archive of her watching him in public contexts. Total, unhurried, uninterested in distributing itself toward anything else happening in the room. She watched the way she always watches him when he is the thing most worth watching, and nothing in the environment offers any competition for that status. Her expression across the duration of his speech moved through several distinct registers that the community has mapped carefully. The warm amusement when he said something self-deprecating in the opening. The settled and complete seriousness when he became emotional in the middle. The specific and private quality of recognition when he said something that she alone in the room had full context for. And throughout all of it, running underneath every shifting register like a constant and uninterrupted current, the proud eyes. Always present. Always doing what they were doing when his name was first called. Carrying everything she knows about what this moment cost and what it means and who he is and what she is to him and what he is to her, and the specific and irreplaceable weight of having been there for all of it. He thanked her. Not by name, in the specific and privacy-protecting way that both of them navigate public acknowledgement of their private relationship. But in the specific and indirect and completely legible language of gratitude that people deploy when the person they most want to thank is in the room, and they want that person to know they are being thanked without directing the room's full attention to them in a way that would feel like a violation of the privacy they have always protected together. He said the people who show up in the ordinary moments make the extraordinary ones possible. He said this with a quality of directness in the specific direction of the audience section where she was seated that was subtle enough to be deniable as anything other than a general address to the room, and specific enough to be completely unmistakable to anyone who knew where to look and what to listen for. The Hye-kyo community knew exactly where to look and what to listen for. They were already watching her face when he said it. And what her face did in the moment he said it is the final and most complete piece of the proud eyes story. She did not react visibly. She did not nod or smile or produce any of the visible confirmations that would have made the subtext explicit. She received his words the way you receive something that was meant for you privately in a public space. Quietly. Completely. in the interior space where the private meaning lives. Her eyes received it. And the cameras, which by now had learned that Song Hye-kyo's eyes at this ceremony were worth watching more carefully than almost anything else in the room, caught the receiving. The Min-kyo community watching saw it. And everything they saw confirmed everything they have always known. The community response to the proud eyes moment has been one of the most sustained and most emotionally rich responses in recent Min-kyo history. Not because it is the most dramatic development this ship has produced. It is not. By the measurable standards of Min-kyo milestones, this is not a confirmation or a revelation or a legal or a public declaration. It is simply a woman's face in an audience at an awards ceremony. But the Min-kyo community has always understood that the woman's face is the whole story. That the face without management is the truest available document. And what the face without management said at this award ceremony, across the standing and the applause and the proud eyes and the quiet receiving of the thanks that only she and a few thousand careful fans knew was for her, is the complete and living summary of everything this community has been building toward understanding. She loves him. She is proud of him. She was there for the work. She knows what it means. She received his public thank you in the private space where it was always intended to land. And she did all of this with her face doing what her face does when she has stopped managing it and is simply present in her own real and complete and entirely Min-kyo life. Tell me everything in the comments right now. What was the moment in the Proud Eyes footage that hit you most completely and why? When she stood before the room did, when the applause was total, when the eyes did what the eyes did, or when she received his thanks quietly in the audience, which moment carried the most weight for you? And what does her response to his award tell you about the specific quality of partnership that Min-kyo has built? Drop every thought and every feeling below. Like this video right now. Share it with every Min-kyo fan who needs to see what it looks like when a wife is proud of her husband in the most real and most completely unmanaged way available. Subscribe to this channel because we are going to keep following every moment of this love story, and every moment from here is worth being present for completely.